Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the Asama devotees. All glory to the Asama devotees. All glory. So we have been reading the 7th chapter. Who remembers anything about the 7th chapter up to the point where we left off? Anyway, at the end of the 6th chapter, what did Krishna say? Yoginam api sarvesham madgatina antaratmana. The yogi who thinks of him and worships him with faith, having taken shelter of him within his heart, he is the best of all yogis. So now in the beginning of the 7th chapter, Krishna says, now I'll explain how with mind attached to me, one can practice yoga, having taken shelter of me with mind attached to me. And then in the 2nd verse, Krishna said that, now I'll explain to you all kinds of knowledge, material and spiritual, knowing which there's nothing further to be known. Yajgatva neha bunyon yajgatavyam avishishate. Does that mean if you know that, then nothing more to be known, then you know everything? I think it means that if you know Krishna, there's no need to understand every little detail. It's not possible to understand everything anyway. If you just can understand a little bit about Krishna, there's no need to try to understand anything else. That is sufficient. Then what did Krishna say next? That out of thousands, hardly one is trying for perfection. And among those trying for perfection, and among those who have even attained perfection, hardly one knows him in truth. And Krishna explained that he has basically 2 energies, the material energy in 8 divisions, and then the superior energy, which is the living entities, the jiva bhuta, is the superior energy. Living entity is prakriti, not actually purush. Sometimes the living entity is called purush because in this world everyone is trying to be purush. Just like sometimes it is seen that a woman dresses like a man and tries to act like a man. This is not befitting. So we are like that. We are actually Krishna's prakriti. We're trying to act like the enjoyers of this world. Then Krishna said that there's no truth higher than him. Mata parataram nanyat kinchirasti dhananjaya. That everything is resting on him, just like what? He gave an analogy. Yes, just like so many pearls are strung on a thread, so everything is resting on him. Then Krishna described how he can be understood in his impersonal, energetic manifestations. As Prabhupada says in the purport to text 8, the Supreme Lord can be preliminarily perceived by his different energies, and in this way he is realized impersonally. First one is Rasoham Apsu Konteya. Krishna says, I am the taste of water. When one is very thirsty and drinks water, one appreciates, oh, I am now refreshed. That is Krishna. That is Krishna impersonally, means that's not Krishna. We don't see Krishna personally, but that is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. So Krishna can be understood impersonally in that way. Just like if you go to some new country and you see that everything is laid out and maintained very nicely, that's the impersonal manifestation of the leader of the country. You can understand this country has a good leader. Under his direction, everything is made and maintained very nicely. So you see the impersonal manifestation of the person. So in these few verses, Krishna is showing how we can appreciate his presence by manifestations of his energies in ways that everyone appreciates. I am the taste and water, I am the light of the sun and the moon. Without the sunlight, there could be no life. That is Krishna. Not Krishna personally, but that is how to see Krishna, by seeing how nice and mercifully his energy is working. I am the syllable Om. I am sound in ether and ability in man. Somebody is very good sports person, somebody is very beautiful, somebody is a good actor, somebody is very talented in another way. That ability, that is Krishna has given a little bit. That people commonly say, oh, that is God's gift. If someone's a great artist and someone says, oh, you're such a great artist, yes, that is God's gift. Krishna says, I am the original fragrance in the earth. That we explained last time. If you take a lump of dirt and you smell it, you may not be able to appreciate. But within that earth, there's all the fragrances. You plant 20 different flower seeds in the earth, they all extract certain flavor, and then when the flower comes, very nice. Where it came from, the earth. Just like the lotus is called Pankaja, born from mud, but it takes from that mud and makes a beautiful scent. So Krishna says, I am the life of all that lives, and I am the seed of all existence. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the strength of the strong, and I am sex life, which is not against or contrary to religious principles. So 12, Krishna says, know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. So this is the Achintya Bheda Bhed. Bheda Bhed. In one sense, everything is Krishna. But at the same time, Krishna is different from everything. Everything is Krishna because everything is Krishna and Krishna's energies. So all states of being are manifested by Krishna's energy. Even the most obnoxious things, they're also made possible or manifestations of Krishna's energy. So although goodness, passion, and ignorance and the activities manifested under their influences are all creations of Krishna, but that doesn't mean that Krishna is like that. He is aloof and apart from that. Then 13, deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. In the purport, Prabhupada says, every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. And therefore the Chaturvarnyam, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then he says that there are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature, and all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the absolute truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in his personal feature, who possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. So the next verse is a very important verse, often quoted. Krishna says, this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So the material nature keeps us away from Krishna because we have a different kind of mentality, not to cooperate with Krishna. We would create a disturbance if we were in the spiritual world. Therefore, he has created a material world where we can act out our fantasies and not cause any disturbance. So it's really impossible to get out of this material condition of life. The only way is if one surrenders to Krishna. Then Krishna says one can easily cross beyond it. Guna also means rope, yes. Tying us to material nature. There's a nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which explains this in a very nice poetic way, that here it is said, material nature, it's Hare Krishna. Material nature is duratyaya, very, very difficult to overcome. But if one surrenders to Krishna, he can easily cross beyond it. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam, very nice. Padam padam, Samashrita ye padapalava plavam, very poetic also. Mahat padam punyayasho murare bhavam buddho vatsa padam, padam padam, padam padam navi padam yadvi padam datesham. That bhavam buddho, Ambuddha means ocean, and Bhava means birth and death. So the ocean of birth and death, if one has samashrita, taken complete shelter of the Lord, one was taken complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, then the ocean of birth and death becomes only like a vatsapada. Vatsa means a calf. In the rainy season, calves go out, and in the mud they make a vatsapadam. So who could cross over the universe? But if one surrenders to Krishna, it becomes vatsapadam, just step right over it. Does it seem like Bhavam Buddha or like vatsapadam? Does it seem like vatsapadam? Not to me.
I am not feeling that. But is Bhagavatam saying that means it's true?
Yeah, if you samashrita.
Because Krishna, when they take the Govardhan hill, like one child, mouse room, wanting like safety.
So another thing is in this verse that this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature. Generally, we think the material world is bad or separate from God, but Krishna says, Daivi hi esha, this divine energy of mind. For us, it has a bad effect, or may have a bad effect, but for Krishna, there's no bad effect for Krishna. It is another one of his energies, therefore it is divine.
This is something which I can't perceive. If you say something is divine, how can that be bad?
Yes.
They're all divine beings, right? We have some element of, a major element is the divine being. We have just manifestations of the divine. It's only the inferior material contact with the material world makes us polluted, or what I would say, contaminated. But still, everyone has this intrinsic divine element, right?
Yeah. So Prabhupada gives the example, the practical example for our understanding is that in a country like America, of course, everyone has so much facility for living comfortably, nicely, enjoyably. The government is the authority and there are laws. So if you obey the laws, then you live happily within the kingdom. But if you break the laws, then that same government, which may give so many benefits, will put you in the jail and punish you. So similarly, we are divine by nature. Krishna is divine. His energy is divine. But we have chosen to forget Krishna or to go against the laws of God. And therefore we are suffering.
Yeah, but how can we be bad? The question comes, I know that we are suffering because of our own thing, but there's nothing bad in that. It's just the way you're looking at it.
Well, it just depends how you look at it. But Rishabhadev said, because especially the word bad, he says, how does that verse begin? Anyway, it says, Na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada asadeha. That, how does that begin? Kastan kaman arhate vidbhujamye. How does that begin?
Second line. I am also just to point out.
Anyway, in English, Rishabhadev, who is the avatar of Krishna, is instructing his sons. He says that Materialistic persons engage in activities of gratifying the senses of the body. He says that na sadhu manye. I don't think this is good. It means I think it is bad. Because by performing materialistic activities, one develops another material body. And although the body is temporary, it gives miseries that Krishna explains in BhagavadGita. You should never forget the fault or the bad quality of material existence. Janma mritu jara vyadhi dukkha. Dukkha means bad, misery. Nobody wants dukkha. So this is all happening within the divine energy of Krishna. But of course, we are all divine beings. We are Krishna's part and parcel. Mama evangsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. But you like growing old and then dying? Is that not bad? Is that bad or not bad?
That's the destiny. That's what you're destined for.
Well, what do you think?
Depends.
Depends.
When you're young, you always want to be old. That's the way it is. You're a small child, you always want to be old.
No, you don't want to be old, you just want to be mature. But you don't want to be old. If you ask a 7-year-old child, oh, you want to be 85? No one will say yes. They want to be 21, they want to be 18, 16 to get their driver's license, 21 to drink. But they don't want to be, nobody wants to be 85.
I want. Everybody wants to stay at 20.
Yeah, forever 21.
Forever 21. Good story.
So of course, you have the right to your own opinions. Just like once Prabhupada was lecturing to some college students somewhere in America. He said that human life, there's a great responsibility. In animal life, there's no responsibility. Animals just act according to their nature, there's no responsibility. But human life has developed consciousness, developed intelligence, developed knowledge, so he also has responsibility. He's responsible for his actions. If a tiger kills an animal, nobody thinks, oh, that tiger is bad. They may not like that, but the tiger is just acting by force by his nature. But if a human being kills another human being, he's considered very bad and put into jail or executed. So Prabhupada is saying that human life, there's a great responsibility. Don't misuse your human form of life. Again, you may go down to the lower species and become an animal. Animal has no responsibility. And if you as a human being act irresponsibly, then again can be put in the animal species. So Prabhupada was saying, so you should be very careful. And the student said, oh, I don't mind becoming a dog. I don't mind becoming a dog. Then after that, even for years, maybe Prabhupada would say, remember that, he said, people are now so degraded, so foolish. There was a student, he said, I don't mind becoming a dog. Suppose your next life, you're forced to become a dog. Is that okay or is that bad?
If I'm destined, if destiny is what is destined.
But you create your destiny.
Yeah, but that's what that depends on your actions from this life.
Yeah.
I try as much as possible.
or just like a student, according to how he studies, then he will do on the exam. But some student may study some and then fail the exam. So the student will always think, oh, how bad I failed the exam, not, oh, that's okay, that was my destiny. No?
No one says that here.
No one says, oh, it's okay, I failed. That's okay.
My question is the other way around. I mean,
Okay.
okay, human beings will do something bad, can go down to an animal that's really bad. How does the other way around happen? How does an animal?
The other way
become a
is
human?
in the lower species, you just go up step by step by step by step.
Because,
There's no karma. It's not that a dog or a worm can do some really good act and then jump up
okay.
very
Yeah, that's what
high.
I was asking.
They just go step by step by step by step and then come to the human form of life. Anyway, Krishna says this divine energy of mine, because it is Krishna's, how it can be less than divine. In the purport, Prabhupada says, the living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord. But due to contamination by the inferior nature matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. But if one surrenders to Krishna, then by his divine will, one can quickly get out. So going on to text 15 and 16, it describes 4 miscreants who never surrender to Krishna and 4 pious persons who do surrender to Krishna. Because 14, Krishna said, this material nature is very difficult to overcome, but those who surrender to me can easily cross beyond it. So the discussion is surrender and not surrender. That is our minute independence. If we don't surrender, we stay within the material, miserable material condition. If we surrender, we get out. Now Krishna is defining 4 kinds of persons who are called duskritina, or miscreants, who never surrendered to him. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are the lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me.
Everybody has to surrender, otherwise it's hell.
So in the purport, it's a very long purport, but we'll just read a little bit of it. It is said in BhagavadGita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality, Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, the question arises, how is it that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways and with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering under the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why don't these intelligent and hardworking leaders adopt this simple method? So here it is said that everybody wants mukti. Scientists also, they're trying to give everyone mukti. They think that by some kind of genetic manipulation, they can make people live forever, stop the aging process. They think, let's find out the aging process. There's some aging process. So if we can understand that aging process and then learn how to stop that aging process, then people can live in this body forever. In other words, the laws of nature are such that body is changing, growing old, and then disintegrates. But people are working hard how to overcome the laws of nature. So Prabhupada is saying that they're working so hard, not only in this life, but life after life, they're trying. Why don't they adopt this easy process? Krishna says, just surrender unto me, then easily you'll overcome it. So Prabhupada says, the Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, the Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Sita, Janaka, Prahlad, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others, who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts to solve them. Because material energy, nature, is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. So the atheistic plan makers are described here by the word duskritina, or miscreant. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheistic plan makers sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic planometer is called duskriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. So there's 4 kinds here. First one is called mudha. Mudha specifically refers to a donkey. And this word is used elsewhere also. Avajanati mam mudha. Mudhas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves and do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. If anyone's heard a donkey braying, it's not a pleasing sound, although the donkey probably thinks it's very nice. This is the position of the foolish, fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma is meant for yajna. So, there are many like that, would never want to surrender to God, but are working hard, they don't really know who they're working for. Some people say they're just working for the banksters who are controlling everything. Another class of duskriti or miscreant is called the naradhama, or lowest of mankind. Narada means human being and adhama means lowest. Out of 8,400,000 different species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. These civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principles must be considered naradhama. So it is mentioned here later on that it is the duties of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashram. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is naradhama. When the whole population becomes naradhama, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. Three, the next class of duskriti is called mayaya parita jnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows. Yes. That just before that, it is said that according to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahman, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. This is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradamas, the brothers Jagai and Madhai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradama, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavata Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is BhagavadGita. The lowest among human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only, but unfortunately they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord. Naradamas, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of human being. So the next, Mayaya Paritagana, they're mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc., but the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Mayaya Paritagana at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no one equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. So, despite all these clear statements, the Mayaya Paritagana divide the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized.
This is personalism. Krishna is not impersonal, he is a person.
Yeah.
Like creature.
Yeah, those impersonalists who comment on Bhagavad Gita, taking people away from the personality of Krishna, they are Mayaya Paritagana. Their knowledge is stolen by Maya. And the last class of Duskriti is Asuram Bhavam, Ashrita, or those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon the material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reason as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the Supreme Personality of God, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons, whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of God, cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Then 16, 4 kinds of pious persons, they surrender. O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritina, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men, those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill an exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu defines pure devotion, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karva janavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. So, Prabhupada has explained that suppose someone has got a terminal illness, cancer. So those who are duskritino, they will just simply try to get medical help, whatever. But those who are sukritino, pious, they will think, oh, I am suffering. They will come to the temple or the church or the mosque. Oh God, I'm suffering. Please, please help me. So that is one kind of person who approaches God. But not everyone who's suffering approaches God. Only those who are pious by inclination, by practice. Otherwise, there are so many duskritino or atheists, and they're suffering, they never would come to God. So this is not pure devotion, but it's a beginning. Another one is described as poor, need money. And generally, all of the people that come to God or Krishna, come to the temple, they're all in these kind of categories. People go to the church and pray, help me this way, help me that way. Students pray, let me pass my exam. Girl prays, let me get a good husband. And everyone prays, let my business come out successful. This is not pure devotion, but it is a beginning. Then there are those who are curious. Like someone might come to the temple. What are these Hare Krishna? What are these crazy Hare Krishna people doing? What are these Hare Krishna people doing? Curious. And then there are some who actually want, I know there is a supreme truth beyond this manifestation. What is that ultimate truth? I want to find out the ultimate truth. Let me go to the temple and speak to some learned devotee. He can maybe tell me. So these are four kinds who begin. So we'll end there. Any questions? When we come next week, we'll see that out of these four, one is considered the best. The one who wants to find out the truth, he's the best. Not the one.
Even the one who's inquisitive to find out about Krishna.
Yeah, that may be a little better. But one who is serious to actually, mere curiosity maybe, okay, now I found out. I was curious what they're doing. Now I understand. Forget it. But jnani means, no, I must. What is that higher truth? I must understand that. My life is useless unless I understand that ultimate truth.
So that person is not for any desire or gain. It's absolute truth. Here it says even that person is doing something for
Yes. Here it is explained that these four, even the person wanting to understand the absolute truth, is coming with some motive. Pure devotee has no motive, even he has no desire just to understand Krishna, he just wants to serve Krishna or love Krishna. But the motive of understanding, that is a finer motive than. Yes.
Relation with devotee, is the relationship with devotee is unconditional, and the relation like with blood relations and family, that is conditional. Is that true, or?
Well, it depends upon you. Your relationship with your blood relations or family members could be unconditional. Generally, of course, it is conditional, and your relationship with devotees should be unconditional, but according to your own mentality, it could be conditional.
How?
Well, someone may relate to devotees hoping to get something. In India, many devotees joined because they're thinking, if I join ISKCON, I can come to America. And many devotees from India came to America. They joined with that. It was not unconditional. They had that
not
condition.
like that. My main point is that, like relationship, like blood relationship with family, like after die, the relationship is finished or is still continuing.
Yeah, of course. Family relationship is temporary. The example is given that so many travelers at night, they will all stay in this hotel. So they're all together for the night and they may sit together for dinner or something. But in the morning, they all go to their separate place, one here, one there. Similarly, we are assembled as family members just for some time, and after death, going to our different destinations according to our karma. And of course, association with devotees is supposed to be not like that. We are associated with devotees to come to the permanent situation. Prabhupada used to say that just like ISKCON, it's also in the material world and devotees are staying together just as family members. But he said, don't worry, we'll have another ISKCON in the spiritual sky. We'll all be there together in the spiritual world. Of course, Krishna consciousness means to come to the platform of eternal existence. And material existence, family is just here today and gone tomorrow.
Unless the family members are devotees and
Yeah, of course, if they're devotees, then it's Krishna consciousness. Just like you had a previous life, who was your mother, who was your father then? Who was your brother and sister then? No idea. Forgotten.
But in Prahlad Maharaj, the 21 generation delivered by he became a devotee.
Yeah.
That in the relation is not finished.
Yeah, if you become a pure devotee, it is said you deliver so many generations past and future of your family. So they're all liberated.
I mean, if finished relationship, and then how is possible to tell again?
Or maybe they are given impersonal liberation.
what is this 21? Can you explain?
Yeah, there are different statements in the Shastra that, because what he is referring to is that after Nrsimha killed Hiranyakashipu, then Prahlad offered prayers and Nrsimhadev offered benediction to Prahlad. So Prahlad said, I am not like a businessman, that I am serving you to get something back. I don't want any benediction. But then he did pray that his father would be delivered. I know my father was very offensive, sinful, but I hope that he can be delivered. So the Shinga said, because you are my pure devotee, 21 generations of your family are already delivered. So that is the, because sometimes family members say, oh, my son became a devotee, he avoided family responsibilities. But who could do better work for their family than becoming a pure devotee and delivering 21 generations?
who became devotees like us.
Like us?
Yeah, we are not pure devotees. What about
You are a pure devotee. And only 2 generations. I'm just joking.
Hare Krishna.
He and his children.
If you can't deliver yourself, how could you deliver other generations?
But I have Guru and Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They pull us.
Yeah.
We are fallen conditioned soul, but we are in track. That means they just. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's good to have that confidence. They will pull us.
Their confidence. It's good to have the confidence. For the doubting soul, there can be no success.
At the very least, one has to say, I don't know if it works, but what else does?
Yeah. That is the bottom line. Okay.